It's the Friday News Roundup. We're talking about wrapping up 2025 with fewer homicides in the city. There's a new drug in our streets that's overwhelming our hospitals. And we're going to laugh off some of the biggest stories of the year. It's Friday, December 19th. I'm Trenae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Joining me this week at the Fiddler Club is CityCast Philly executive producer Matt Katz. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Trenae. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Here we are. Last Friday News Roundup of the year.
We made it. Matt, what a year.
Yeah.
Today at 11 a.m., Mayor Sherrell Parker will deliver the 2025 State of the City address over at Temple University's Performing Arts Center, highlighting what worked in the city, her vision for the city for next year, and of course, conversations around 2026 and the semi-quincentennial. I'm getting better at that.
Yeah, you are.
America's 250th birthday. She's expected to talk about public safety and her Cleaner and Greener initiative, along with some other improvements to quality of life here in Philly.
And I imagine she will bring up our homicide numbers.
Oh,
and
for sure. Yeah.
I just have to start off this last news roundup of the year with some really positive news on that front. Homicides, as of this week, obviously we have a little bit left to go of 2025, but as of this week, they're down more than 16% compared to last year. And that represents a 60% decrease from 4 years ago when there was that pandemic spike in murders. That's extraordinary. 60% drop from just 4 years ago. As of this week, there were 212 homicides in Philly this year. Obviously, that's 212 too many. But if that number holds, we will have seen the fewest number of homicides since 1966, when there are 178. 1966.
What do you think is the reason for this drop?
I know that homicides are dropping around the country. So whatever is happening in Philly that's working, it might be similar or different from what's happening elsewhere around the country. I'll wait for the people with criminology degrees to figure that out, and they probably won't come up with their own theories until they sort of go through this data and parse what it might mean and compare it to other places. But I don't think we should celebrate this, but I mean, gun violence has been such a scourge in this town for generations.
I was just about to say, like yes, this is good for this year,
right?
But like, we need that number to go down year after year after year.
For sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, we were going down for many years, and then the pandemic happened, and it spiked back up. So, any sort of like change in a socioeconomic situation in the city could certainly affect the numbers. But I do think that there's so much to be pessimistic about and depressed about when it comes to national and international news and affairs that I think it's important for us to take a moment and not celebrate necessarily, but remark on the extraordinary difference in terms of this one measure of safety in our streets. I mean, I was so floored when I went through these numbers. I'm using police data from the city police department website and also from former Mayor Michael Nutter's website. He keeps historical information of homicides. I checked the numbers over and over and over again because I just could not believe that we really have reduced homicides to the lowest number, as long as this basically holds for the rest of the year, since 1966. I mean, this was a year when the Beatles performed at JFK Stadium. Neither the Beatles nor JFK Stadium exist. Right. 1966 was the year that Wilt Chamberlain led the Sixers to a championship. In 67, but it was the 66-67 season. I mean, this is a lifetime ago,
right?
Before even I was born. Right. I mean, it's nuts. It's nuts. So again, too early to declare victory, too soon to even say why this is happening. But we will definitely try to understand more about this in 2026 on CityCast Philly. I definitely want to do shows and have conversations about any policy reasons why this might have happened or other reasons why this might be happening. I'll also say that shooting incidents are down 26%. So overall, in terms of guns, we're certainly in the right direction.
There's like surveys that get floated around asking Philadelphians how they feel about public safety. Do they feel safe where they live? Do they feel safe in neighborhoods that they travel to? How would you answer that?
I think I'd have a pretty nuanced answer. Like, I feel safe sending my kids to the corner store after school, as I did the other day, to go pick up candy. And yet later that night, there was like a ton of banging outside my house because somebody was trying to get into something and didn't sound totally sober. I didn't feel like it was safe to actually walk outside my house to see what was going on. It was late at night. I didn't know if that person was in their right mind, and I did not feel safe in that moment. An hour after that, there was a massive argument down the block from my house that I could hear very clearly. And so now we're at like 11:30 at night, and I'm wondering if I should, move my son's bed away from the window. So in those moments, I don't feel safe at all. But I also know that your crime is still quite rare. Like, violent crime is still quite rare per capita. You're not going to get hurt walking down the street, like the vast majority of the time. So I guess I'm pretty all over the place. I'm sometimes nervous in my neighborhood. Other times I feel completely comfortable letting my kids, and their friends wander around. And I think a lot of Philadelphians live in both places in their minds, Are you in a similar vein there?
I often travel to many different neighborhoods in like any given day. It's a lot. I would say generally I do feel safe. Although, having a Ring camera is like the anxiety like goes like through the roof because everyone's like communicating like in this radius where I live or even wherever I'm at. They're constantly communicating. So like small minor things might get blown up.
Sure.
I have experienced a lot of folks like using drugs in my neighborhood. And I catch it like while they're like wandering in the streets, like outside of the house. So that part I don't feel safe about. But to your point about like the corner store, like letting your like teenagers go to the corner store, I have a great relationship with the folks that run the corner store near my house. When they first opened, we first moved in. So it was like we both were new to the neighborhood. And I introduced myself and I'm like, hey, this is who I am. These are my kids. Sometimes I'm going to like tell my kids to walk to the store to get me some like milk or like cheese or whatever. Right. And so having that relationship is really helpful and makes me feel more connected to my neighborhood because I was like new to the block. So I also have to teach my kids like street smarts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. Totally.
It's like I expect certain things to kind of happen because we live in a city.
Yeah.
But I think overall, like meeting up with friends downtown or going out or whatever,
right?
I do feel safe.
Totally.
Another initiative that Mayor Parker has had is the One Philly United City, and the focus on the cleaner, greener aspects of the city, the litter, the illegal dumping. I saw a sign when we went out to eat this week. There was a sign, $300 for illegal dumping. I was like, whoa.
$300 fine. You don't get $300 if you illegal dump.
That's what I meant. I meant the fine. The city's tree canopy, the beautification efforts. I would really, really like to see more trees in 2026.
Yeah.
Bring some trees on our blocks.
Yeah. And there's been studies that, beautifying neighborhoods helps with the safety issue that we've been talking about.
Yes.
For sure.
Those are some of the things that Mayor Parker and city leaders are going to be talking about today in the state of the city. We've got more news after the break. Club is Philadelphia's best kept secret. It's the only place in the city where you can work out, and socialize all under one roof. Right in the heart of Philly, across from 30th Street Station, Filler Club is a private membership club built for modern city life. With multiple co-working spaces, more than 50 businesses on site, and a state-of-the-art fitness center featuring 2 full floors, personal training, an indoor pool, golf simulators, and even a cold plunge. You'll find everything you need to thrive. Visit fillerclub.com to learn more and apply to become a member. Discover why Filler Club is Philadelphia's best kept secret for work, wellness, and connection.
One of the more negative distinctions we have as a city is we seem to get saturated first with whatever new and deadly street drug is taking over the country. Like, it seems to hit Kensington and Philly first before spreading out elsewhere. And that's exactly what's happening right now with a new drug called medetomidine. It's an animal sedative used by veterinarians, and it has now infiltrated the fentanyl supply in Philly. The New York Times did this big story this week about the drug in Philly, and it reported that our hospitals have been overwhelmed by patients coming in suffering from withdrawal symptoms, like these extreme withdrawal symptoms.
Like extremely elevated heart rates, high blood pressure, tremors, and unstoppable vomiting.
Yeah. They said users can be rendered mute. They suffer brain damage during these withdrawal situations. They don't even realize that they're vomiting on nurses or soiling themselves. And this is different from other drug moments in the drug crisis, like in terms of...
But this is the second drug that's connected to animal care.
Yeah, that's true.
Xylazine,
right,
or aka Tranq, which is a really powerful muscle relaxer or tranquilizer.
Yeah.
Also, again, for veterinary use only.
Right. Yeah. In those cases, with the xylazine, people were suffering from wounds, these terrible wounds, and it led to some amputations.
Yes, and the thing is, the wounds, like, you'll get the wound, they'll just pop up any place on your body. It's not necessarily where the injection site was.
Yeah, wow. And then with this new drug, medetomidine, the problem is with the withdrawal itself. It's not necessarily an overdose. It's them coming down from it and having these extreme symptoms. There was a stat in the article that it's costing millions of dollars for ambulance transport from Kensington to Temple's main hospital for treatment for these folks. The number of admissions to city hospitals for people suffering from withdrawal more than doubled this year compared to 2023. And they actually identified exactly the weekend when this first got into the fentanyl supply. It was April 2024. And they now believe that this drug is in 90% of the city's fentanyl supply. It's super addictive and it's cheap, which is why dealers are putting it into the fentanyl, or cutting the fentanyl with it.
How do you stop that? If you ever learn or listen to the history of some of the folks over in West Philly, the community organizers of West Philly and South Philly, in the 70s, 80s, that were trying to fight back drugs in their neighborhoods and what they had to do. We might have to just get out in the streets a little bit more and fight back against it. But I don't know how you fight back against
I don't know either.
These strong drugs. But it's something that I think that we can start asking elected officials in the city and in the state a little bit more for next year. Extremely dangerous things are happening, right? However, if you just take the L and go to Old City, it's a totally different world.
I mean, you can walk a few blocks away from the epicenter of our city's drug crisis, and you're in some of the hottest restaurants in the northeast of the country.
I don't understand that. It's so bleak and different, in certain parts of Kensington than in others.
Yeah. And, the mayor's made, cleaning up, so to speak, Kensington like a focus of her administration. There's more police there. They do more sweeps of people who are living on the streets there. At the same time, the city council just passed a new law that limits the number of mobile service providers, which supporters of this new law say those mobile service providers who try to help people who are addicted to drugs, they end up bringing people using drugs into the community. On the other hand, will there be enough helpers out there to assist people who are suffering?
And now, like, local hospitals are getting inundated with like folks that have severe wounds and symptoms and withdrawal symptoms from these powerful drugs.
And God bless our medical providers who
Absolutely.
are caring for these people and figuring out how to change the game and on the fly. I mean, they are dealing now with a brand new drug, and they had to figure out what was happening and then how to best treat people. And they're doing that at hospitals like Temple. And it's pretty extraordinary, the lives that they're saving. Right. And maybe we should kind of, leave it there on a positive note for the new year. Like Mr. Rogers always says, look for the helpers. And for all those people suffering out there, dealing with addiction to this new drug, there's also so many people who are helping them, from the people working in public safety to people working at our hospitals.
And just volunteers, too.
And volunteers, exactly right. Just community members who want to help their neighbors.
All right, we've got more stories when we come back. All right, 2025 was like, what the heck is going on? Lots of things happened. Let's start off with maybe one of the biggest stories, and that was the trash strike.
For sure. 8 days. We had no trash pickup. The strike went on for 8 days. The sanitation workers who were looking for a new contract and other city workers were also on strike. But it felt longer, didn't it? Because it took a long time. It was in the summer.
Yes. It was like, oh my gosh. I remember, seeing these drone aerial footage of like, I think it was Girard Avenue, or kind of like around West Philly. The piles of trash.
You mean the Parker
dumpsters.
Piles that they called them for Mayor Parker?
It was nuts.
It was nuts. And then we had to find a dumpster in your neighborhood.
Oh, and the raccoons that came out and it was just
putting
bad.
Trash bags for me and my neighbors in my trunk and driving around looking for a dumpster to throw it in.
And then the whole split between you don't want to be a scab and take your trash somewhere or hire someone else to come and pick it up. And
the mayor, she had a rough time those few weeks because of the people were blaming her and people were supporting the workers. But in the end, politically, she was seen to have won. The workers only got a 3% annual raise. They were looking for 8%. The mayor played hardball. She went to court. They got injunctions to sort of put pressure on the workers to go back to work. And they eventually did. And now our streets are relatively clean again.
That's debatable, I think. I don't think it's about the streets being clean. I think it's just folks are still folks are back to work.
Yeah.
But the problem is thinking about better wages.
Right.
The other big story, the Northeast plane crash.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Just shook that community.
That was in the beginning of the year. 8 people killed, 20 injured. It was a medical jet carrying Valentina Guzman Murillo, this 11-year-old girl who had been getting treatment for many months over at Shriners Children's Hospital. She was headed home to Mexico. There were medical professionals on board. Her mother was on board. Crashed near Roosevelt Mall during rush hour on a Friday evening, and people were injured and killed on the ground. This week, there's some happy news out of this. A little boy named Ramses Vasquez Viana was released from the hospital. He had been hospitalized since then, had 42 surgeries because he was nearly burned to death. 90% of his body was burned, and he has been recovering ever since then. Tremendous support from his friends over at Smedley Elementary and his mother, who helped him through all of this. They had a big pep rally at the school this week to welcome him out of the hospital and back home. So we wish Ramses the best, and we're glad to see he's on the road to recovery. He's not out of the woods yet. He's more surgeries ahead of him, apparently. CBS Channel 3 has been documenting his journey, and it was pretty beautiful to watch footage of the pep rally that they had for him. Swoop was there from the Eagles. But yeah, that was certainly a massively tragic story from 2025. Wasn't all bad news in Philly in 2025, though.
We've been covering this series called Whose Streets, about, how we kind of all share the streets, pedestrians, cars, bikes.
Yep. A lot has happened on our streets this year. I mean, we got more bike lanes. There's open streets have closed West Walnut on some weekends near Rittenhouse.
So fun.
Yeah. So great.
I finally went to one, and cool. It was like the day the Eagles won, that weird play at the end where we blocked the kick and we ran for the touch. Yeah. Oh my God, that was epic. And then so it's a seal, everyone walking around on Walnut was cool. Fun. Yeah.
What else happened on the streets this year? New bike lanes around City Hall, and then this legislation that will pave the way for more streeteries. So that's really exciting changes happening on the streets of Philadelphia in 2025.
Well, speaking of streeteries, you eat in the streeteries. Food was so big in the city this year.
Yo, we got our first Michelin star.
Yes, for her place Supper Club, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Provenance.
And then a couple dozen other restaurants in town were recognized by Michelin in their guide. So we're hoping for more stars in 2026 from Michelin.
Including some cheesesteaks, but
well,
I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go.
Yeah.
Because go to Chubby's.
Agreed. There were some viral moments.
Oh, yeah.
As there always are.
Like this one.
Well, listen, we've got to do this. Let me hear you all say, E-L-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
I mean, it still might be the thing that she's most known for.
Yeah.
Like if you were to ask random people, go out to Market Street right now and be like, what do you know about Mayor Sherrill Parker? They'll be like, well, she can't spell. Which she can, then, obviously. It was a mistake. She was in the heat of the moment.
Totally. But
it's pretty funny.
What makes it even funnier, I don't know if people ever listen. Just keep listening until the mics actually go off, because someone in the back says, perfect. But
there's merch out there. You see people wearing hats and sweatshirts with the misspelling on there.
Listen, she has a great sense of humor, though, because she kind of rolled with that joke for a while.
Yeah. The Eagles gave us a lot of viral moments this year, as they always do. I loved Howie Roseman, the GM of the Eagles, getting hit in the head by a can of beer during the Super Bowl parade. I like it because he was okay, and then he addressed the crowd on the Art Museum steps with this massive
knot.
A knot.
Yeah.
And it made him look tough. And then he had the cigar. And that became sort of a nice symbol of the Eagles' victory and our status to this day as Super Bowl champ.
Okay. Favorite episode of CityCast Philly this year, Matt?
Well, I mean, can I nominate 3? I mean, we did this series on the history of South Street.
Oh my God. How could I forget?
It aired in September.
Many months of reporting.
Yes. And it went back to colonial days and looked at all the fights on South Street, the partying on South Street, the compelling history from the vantage of all these different ethnic groups and communities. And I learned so much about our city in the course of that reporting and by listening to the interviews you did. We're going to re-air some of the shows early next year. And then if people want to go back and listen, it aired in mid-September. But every time I'm like around South Street, I think about it, and I keep going back to something that Professor Richardson Dilworth from Drexel told you, that South Street from before the country's founding was this like liminal space. He described it as like an in-between space where kind of anything goes. And there seems to be something creative and a little bit chaotic in the DNA of South Street. And I loved that context and knowing all that like funny and important history of the place. And it's such a great like window into who we are as Philadelphians and where we came from. So I think that's my favorite bit of episodes of CityCast Philly this year.
It sounds like you're telling me that you feel more connected to the city that you live in.
Which is the point
the
of
whole
what we do
point of
here.
this show. I would say favorite episodes are when we have literally gone to City Hall, walking, and for me, running through the hallways.
Yeah, you're always late.
It's because there's no parking, okay? It's limited parking, and I'm not on the bike. But basically sitting down with elected officials, talking about nuisance businesses, the future of Market East, tax structure, and all other sorts of Philly-ness. That's been cool. What are you looking forward to in 2026?
The MLB All-Star Game and Home Run Derby coming to Citizens Bank Park. The All-Star Game is July 14th. I can't wait. Huge baseball family, and hoping to bring my wife and my son to watch the best players in baseball face off in Philadelphia. The All-Star Game changes locations every year, so it's a real special thing to get it. And then I also want to go to the Home Run Derby. Now, I say this, I have no idea how to get tickets or how much tickets are, but I need to look into that. Derby? So the Home Run Derby will be the day before, and that's when literally like a coach, sometimes like a player's father, will soft toss the ball at the biggest home run hitters in baseball, and whoever hits the most home runs wins the Home Run Derby.
Nice.
It is so fun to watch.
Yeah.
And Citizens Bank Park is known as a place where it's like relatively easy to hit home runs.
Oh.
It's considered like a home run friendly ballpark. I've never been to a Home Run Derby, so I'm hoping I can sit in the stands and just watch these like enormous men drive home runs 450 feet into the humid Philadelphia night sky. So I'm very much looking forward to that because there's a lot of events, a lot of sporting events, NCAA tournament, Unrivaled, the 3-on-3 women's basketball league that's doing a tournament with all their WNBA stars.
Yeah.
They're coming to Philly in January.
Nice.
We got a PGA tournament coming in the burbs. So there's a lot happening. And of course, all the semi-quincentennial celebrations. But I think the All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby are what I'm most excited about.
And the FIFA World Cup.
Oh my God, did I not mention that?
It's okay.
That's obviously the biggest one from a world global perspective.
Right.
That's the biggest one. Because there's also 6 games that'll be here.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to walking down an expensive ass alleyway. Okay, listen to this. This week, the city started construction of a $2.7 million alleyway path. It's about 2,000 feet that will connect tourists walking from the Independence Visitor Center to Carpenter's Hall.
Oh my God.
There will be seating and plants along this brick pathway. So follow the brick road to they're going to call this the Commerce Connector down in Old City.
Why is it $2.7 million?
I do not know.
Oh, maybe it's paved with gold.
So I'm looking forward to seeing more random projects that we're going to use to impress visitors next year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice thing to look forward to.
Okay, what are you doing this weekend?
Well, we still got Hanukkah in my house, a few days left. Check it out, by the way. This is my Hanukkah present from last night.
I like it. It's a nice hat.
Isn't it? It's actually a Sixers hat.
Yeah.
It says Philadelphia. And my kids have gotten some solid Philadelphia merch over Hanukkah.
You're a good father.
My son got a Maxi jersey, Sixers Maxi jersey, and my daughter, don't tell her she's got a Jared McCain jersey coming.
Ooh.
And then tonight I'm going to see what I think is the greatest current Philly-born rock band, The War on Drugs. They're doing 3 special performances this weekend at Johnny Brenda's, which they've done in the past. They normally play like much larger venues, but this is to raise money for the nonprofit, the Fund for the School District of Philadelphia, to support Philly students. So tickets are more expensive than normal because it's all a fundraiser, and the venue is so small. They've raised a ton of money doing this in the past, and this is like a band with a big sound. So hearing them in intimate Johnny Brenda's is a true treat. They sound so great. And in that environment, they're just like tight as hell. And the drummer of the band, Charlie Hall, was on the show last year. He produced the holiday albums from the Eagles, Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, Jason Kelce. So the War on Drugs is very much like enmeshed in Philly and supports all kinds of Philly causes. So I'm happy to go out there and hang out and hear them. I hope I see some Eagles at the show, but probably not since they're playing tomorrow. It's a weird Saturday game that the Eagles are playing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I might see it, and I'm going to...
You're going to go?
Well, I'm going to see it from the airport.
Wait, you're going to the airport to watch the Eagles game, or you're flying somewhere?
I'm flying somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. So...
Wait, are you flying out during the game?
Yes.
So will they fly over the link?
I hope so. So I'll wave so you can see me.
That's pretty cool.
Anyway.
It would be very cool to fly over the link and see them like run down the field.
Oh my God.
You got to make sure you're on the right side of the plane.
I know.
Ask the flight attendant, see if you
Put
can make
me
it
on the right side.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And then I was going to say, just to tease it up a little bit, we're going to do an episode about PHL on Monday.
Oh, that's right. Yep. So if you're flying anywhere for the holidays, if you've got friends or family flying in for the holidays, definitely listen to our show because we have some updates about things happening at the airport, and we have some complaints, and we have some compliments.
Yes. Yeah.
We like always.
Like always. Yeah. Anyway, thanks, Matt.
Have a Merry Christmas with your family.
And Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you. Enjoy your travels.
If you were still kind of confused about what to give someone this year as a gift, why not give them a CityCast Philly Neighbors membership?
That's a good idea.
It's so easy. Go to membership.citycast.fm. That's all for us today here on CityCast Philly. Ooh, what a year. Our executive producer is Matt Katz. Our producer is Abby Fritz. Our Hey Philly newsletter editor is Siani Cologne. And our host is me, Trenae Nuri. Music is by Philly's own Interminable, with additional music from All the Kimonos. If you enjoyed this week of episodes, you gotta share it with your friends. Also, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city or around the skies. Have a great weekend and be safe, y'all. Bye. Hickey?
This.
Or do you call it a hickey?
No, hickey's just for kissing.
I thought a hickey could be like a, or maybe is it a different term?
It's definitely a different term.
I thought it was a hickey could be like the big bump.
I know it can't be
No?
the big bump. The hickey's
Hickey's
when
just what
happens in high
mark.
school on your neck.